What's up, everybody? It's Supersmallchibiwolf here, and today I'm going to be talking about and covering the wonderful world of variant gaming consoles with the PlayStation 1. This is a new series where I'm going to be covering different variants, versions, colors, designs, region-related stuff like what's region locked, what's region free, etc., etc. So, also, this is going to be console-wise, not games. So, I might maybe talk about some games in other episodes of this series, but that's just going to be small examples. So, with all that being that, let's get into this. So in this section, I'm going to be talking about the designs and colors. So first, the design. The original, you got like a box, really cool, really nice. It opens, it closes, really great. Now the second design is also great. So while this is a box, this is more of a like curved edges, giving it this unique look, and it's smaller as well. So more portable, more, put it down, boom, good to go. So as you can see, while this is boxed, the other one has more of curves and smaller. So really cool, but there's a difference. Also, besides like how they look, this one has different colors. The other one, just from what I remember, it just has gray, the basic gray. While this one has the white, the green, midnight blue, original gray, of course, and the what was it colors? So yeah, I personally think the color wise, it's really great, really cool. I think they look wonderful. But I personally like the gray. But the gray, I think this one is my choice. Also, these from what I've seen, they tend to be in good condition when I looked online and saw, and pretty good price. So if you're gonna get into the PS1, I recommend checking out the colors and seeing which one fits your preference. Now, and I would also say this, when it comes down to the consoles, I enjoy this. I love when gaming consoles they experiment with their colors and different things, whether it's controls or the console itself. So it's wonderful. So now I'll be talking about the controls. So there are four different controls that you could choose from with their own unique changes and the designs, and it's wonderful. So let's get into this. Coming out 1994. Original, you see, got this introduces to the classic, iconic button layout, the triangle, circle, X, and square. You got these nipple. Then besides the nipples, you got the button of somewhat of a D-pad. So yeah, really cool. I love this control. Still use it. Nice. Then Sony was like, simulators. Yes, emulators, but simulation. And what is the good thing about simulation? They got the plane games, the all those driving games. So they said, you know what? Let's make them feel like an arcade stick, because the what was it, if you're playing like a simulator of like flying and all that. Usually you see these types of controls. So Sony was like, we're gonna do them justice. Bring the arcade home, and that's what they did with this one. 1996, we got this. Now I think this looks cool. Never used it. I don't have it, and yeah, 1996 analog joystick, the first PS1 controller to use the pro terminals, I believe. Yeah, and yeah, I think it's really cool. I imagine this being used mostly for like I said, like if you're playing like a simulator of like a plane or like maybe driving simulator, this would be interesting, yeah. Or or maybe like what was it, arcade shooting games, like to get the high score, when you and then you just a button slam to see which attack you're going to use. I would also say, when it comes down to it, this could also be used. This could be used, I imagine, for any game. Don't get me wrong, but imagine trying to play like a JRPG with this. Now, I personally like I said, I want an actual controller, not like a special controller. So this is more of a special control for like games like I imagine, like I said, maybe you playing maybe racing games. It would be fun, but mostly like the emulation games for like no simulation for like the aircraft games, maybe racing games. So I imagine it being more fun that way. You know what I mean? So yeah. Then moving on from that, we got 97. Sony was like, got it. That's this year we're going to do it. And then they got the dual analog. They said that's the future. Then we got this, ready for Final Fantasy 7. Mm-hmm. Then this is, yeah, you got these. You could activate it, use this, or deactivate it and use the classic layout. And I enjoyed that. They gave us an option. You want something unique? Here you go. You want the original? Here you go. Bigger, better, really cool. Also, we got on the 97, we got the ridge solos, which is nice as well. This one, ridged curve, nice. I think this one is nice. This one is good. I find this superior in the way of handling. So, but hey, that's just me. Then the last controller released from 97 to 98. Here we go, shorter grip. So instead of this long vampire tooth or teeth, two sides, you have this shorter one. So yeah, going from a saber-tooth tiger to house cat, really good. Sony, you interesting? I enjoy that. And overall, also the flat R2, L2 buttons, the vibration function was in all models, of these. And so yeah, Sony went all out. This generation they really show. You want arcade games, racing games. Here you go. Original. This is how we, released the classic. Then 7 to 8. Here we go. 97 to 98. Really good. So overall, I think they're good. Like I said, I enjoyed the original, but I do love the DualShock as well. So that's how I see it. Let me know which controls do you prefer. So next I'm gonna be talking about the development kits. Now, I think the development kits deserves its own part due to it being rare and was not sold in retailers. So unfortunately, it's rare. The Nintendo PlayStation fits in perfectly due to it being a prototype that didn't work out between these two companies. So Sony and Nintendo, they came together, they made a baby. Here it is. They don't like talking about it, but it's it's somewhere in probably Tokyo or Kyoto. So yeah, and I think this looks interesting. It's good. I would say when it came down to it. Oh, it also says that Sony did work with Sega as well, but it didn't go as far as they went deeper into Nintendo than they did Sega, and they left the impact, which is the Nintendo PlayStation. So yeah, I would also say I like this. It's interesting. You get your Super Famicom, pop in a PS1, you playing, you chilling. But it's good to see this. I enjoy this. Although it's like it didn't go hugely far. It's still an interesting thing in gaming history, and I like it. As you can see, also I have to say it. Imagine playing. You got Ape Escape with Donkey Kong. Imagine a game with these two. Imagine a world where Sony and Nintendo just worked out. Like, of course, there's many reasons, but one of the big reasons is Sony didn't want to get eaten up by Nintendo and just be merged with them. So yeah, although Sony, what was it technology wise was huge back in the day. You know what I mean? Like they were like, "Yo, you doing good." Unfortunately, it ain't like that these days. But hey, seeing how they working with PlayStation 5 compared to 4, I'm kind of like, yeah, you kind of deserve it, Sony. You know, and Nintendo made a comeback. With the Switch. So yeah, good job. Hopefully we get a new Donkey Kong game and Ape Escape game because both Sony and Nintendo forgot their apes. What happened? Or monkeys? Yeah, what happened, huh? Like Nintendo, Sony. What is wrong with you two? Maybe they've been going to the same bar or something and they just forgot about these two. They deserve more love. Give love to Donkey Kong, give love to the Ape Escape series. Look at them. This one, he's traumatized. He's like, oh man, they forgot about us. This one's dopey. And this one all out just desperate for attention. Just looking at their success on the Switch. At least they got a game on the Switch, even though it's a remake from the Wii U days. But so Nintendo, that's the thing. Nintendo, this is the generation, besides the development kits, but talking about Sony and Nintendo for a little bit, this generation's remakes, basically. Like, where's the new Donkey Kong game? We playing the Wii U, has a port. And by the way, I want to get it, but Tropical Freeze is priced the same as Tears of the Kingdom. How you justify purchasing something like that? It's like, that's a Wii U game. But besides the little rant, yeah, Nintendo and Sony prototype. Really interesting, really cool. Leave in the comments. Imagine, leave in the comments what you would have thought. If Sony and Nintendo relationship worked out, this thing actually became something. And we have the Nintendo, Sony, PlayStation 5 Switch. Imagine that. Super Mario Odyssey, 4K. Now that is amazing. So yeah. So in 1999, Sony released the Pocket Station, and the world exploded. Here we have the Pocket Station with Meow Meow in the front of the box. Now, the Pocket Station was used as a memory card that could also be used to play simple, small games downloaded from the PS1 games, depending which ones. Not all games supported this, but yeah, really cool. The games and apps are stored in the PS1 memory card using its blocks. So yeah, it also tells time and date. You can also see the 1-bit icons of game saves, so like a small cloud strife, I imagine. And yeah, really cool. It's really cool because it's also region free, but the games are it's different. It's region locked when it comes down to the specific games that's going to be required to download in this device. So yeah, that's the only twist right there. Now the games, I would say this. When it comes down to it, I enjoy this. This is a cool idea. I enjoy. Oh, you know, it's so good that even back then, what was it? The games that are stored like in this little device, you could put it on your PS2. Yeah, and store things on there. I think it's great. You know, this works on the PS1. It works on the PS2 as memory card, though. No downloading PS2 games into this little thing. I don't think it could. It's not even possible, even if it's the free space. I don't think it's gonna handle it. So yeah, in 2013, Sony released PlayStation or Pocket, but on the Vita. So that's cool. An emulator on the Vita. Mhm. Now, I would say this: when it comes down to handheld gaming and Sony, it kind of saddens me because I love the PSP, the original. I've shown it in unboxed games before, even recently. And overall, what I'm trying to say is, Sony, please make handheld games. I know Nintendo kind of kicked you really deep, but hey, the PSP original is amazing. The Vita I heard was great and amazing as well. Now the Go, I don't remember seeing commercials of that. And I didn't even know if I had anyone, any friend that had the Go. Now I would say this though, the Vita I heard is very cool. The original, from my experience, it was amazing. That's my favorite Sony handheld. I was just like, you go to have fun. If you had that back in the day, you had fun. Yeah, and yeah, overall, in conclusion, the Pocket Station is a nice accessory. From what I've seen, it's not that, you know, it's affordable. So really cool in a time where those games, you know what I mean? But the Pocket Station, surprisingly affordable. Even CIB, complete in box, it's like, yo, that's surprisingly great priced, you know? So yeah, I recommend maybe checking this out if you have time. Maybe you're into that. Also, man, I love it. 2013, Sony did like a emulator for it on the Vita. I think that's really cool as well, just for the new generation to experience what the older generation has experienced. And I think it's cool. Overall, Power Station, wonderful. The last thing I would like to talk about is, there are different types of PlayStation ones, and like for example, depending which one you get. For example, there's the in the back of each console there's SCPH, like for example 1000 through 5000, right? Or like say 9000 through 9003 or whatever. So be careful which one you get because depends which one you have. It's either like the AV cables, straight AV to AV, like the other port where you just plug it into the console, and then the other side is the AV, and then you got oh man, AV multi out. Those. I know this one isn't common, and most people don't know or remember this one, but the RF cables, remember that? So yeah, it differs the outputs. Just wanted to put that out there. If we're talking about everything PlayStation 1 related, I think that's important to call out. I could get into detail, but how long is this video want? You know, how long do I want this video to be? So yeah, but it is important because, for example, some of them, you know, like say you get this model, okay, it seems normal, but then another model, maybe you get that one instead, and it has FMV skip into CD-ROM location differences, and you're like, wait, what's going on here? You know what I mean? So just want you to be a little bit more aware of what's going on. Also, one very last thing, I think is it's wonderful to talk about these consoles differences, the just all of that. I might make this into a series, maybe cover the N64 next would be cool. But yeah, I think the PlayStation 1 as the first episode, just like my first unboxing, it's amazing, you know, to do that, you know, just to go back, talk about these consoles. It's always fun to talk about the PS1, in my opinion. I love it. It's such a amazing gaming console, you know, the games, the hardware itself, and just the different controls, etc. What I explained in this video. Overall, I love it. It's fascinating. Leave in the comments what other consoles you want me to cover next. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye.